The new year is here, and it is finally 2022. And if you're like many of other people that are out there, you are thinking about New Year's resolutions. When doing a quick search, I actually found that most people are wanting to eat better, sleep more, lose weight, and finally, most of all, save more money. No matter what your resolution is for this year, 2022, I'm sure we can all agree we want to have more money to either pay down debt, invest more, or obviously save for that rainy day fund. After this episode, you are sure to walk away with a challenge. That's right, a challenge that you can complete to make this resolution of saving more money a reality very, very easily. The great part about it is you can do it multiple times. This isn't some one time and you're done. Multiple times you can accomplish this, and at the end of each successful challenge, you will have more money, guaranteed. Let's get to it.
Welcome to the Financial Mirror. Where future success is reflected in our knowledge of fixing the one thing we can control, ourselves.
Hey, what is going on? And we are back, and as you can see, it is New Year's, and it is 2022. 2021's behind us. That's absolute old news, and we are back with another episode of the Financial Mirror. This is actually the first episode of 2022, and I could not be more excited to bring this to you today. 2022 is gonna be great because I know that, and I'm wishing that on not only myself and on my family, but on you and yours as well. There's so much that's happened over the last year, and I could not be more proud of everything that has been able to be accomplished for me, my family, and I'm sure absolutely you could probably say the same about yours. The greatest part of all is the Financial Mirror has brought many professionals in from multiple industries to do a podcast, do a live stream, and we have grown exponentially, and I continue to get great feedback from the listeners, and I truly appreciate that. The podcast has grown more than I ever thought was possible, and I want to start off by just saying thank you. Thank you very much to all the listeners that continue to support and listen and give those reviews and leave those comments. And I couldn't be more blessed. And obviously, I look forward to another year of just that, where there's more listeners, there's more people that are getting reached out to and hopefully helping with their finances all in all. As with every single new year that comes and goes, it always offers this one great thing, and that's the ability to start something new, right? Maybe even something that you always wanted to start, or that you started at one point in your life. You sort of got away from it, and now this is giving you a reason to do it again, or get started doing that again, or do it now even. New Year's are great options to do this. Last year, looking back, I made a resolution, and I'm actually very happy with the results. Obviously, last year I made a New Year's resolution that I wanted to dive into more books, just because, I mean, let's be honest, we've all read it, we've all seen it. Millionaires read. People that are successful in my eyes and how I define success, they read and they dive into knowledge, because let's be honest, if you can read a book, you are getting thoughts directly out of someone else's brain. And that is the coolest thing that I think I can think about. But just because I want to be honest with, I want you to be honest with yourself, I want to be honest with you about my progress. So first and foremost, I didn't read any physical books this year. Started on one and here at the end, and I'm hoping that to finish that by the end of the year. But that's from an author that we had on the podcast at one time, actually, and he writes books as well. So I did, however, for my New Year's resolution, I dove into a ton of audiobooks, and I am, like I stated at the beginning, I'm happy with the results. At the end of the year, I was able to listen to 26 books over the last year. The great part about this was able to be done in between the podcasts that I already enjoy. And I didn't just listen to one genre. I tried to spread that genre out or genres out so that I could get a different taste from a couple different types of authors. And I thought that was really good. I've always wanted to listen to multiple genres of books just so I can broaden my horizon, because I'll be honest with you, it's mind blowing some of the things that outside of your scope, it can make you think and broaden your thought process in your scope, if that makes sense. Like being someone giving you a perspective of something else can really help you in your line of work or in what you're driving and striving to accomplish, even if it doesn't relate directly. And I think that was my biggest thing. So for this year, I haven't quite solidified my resolution. I'm hoping that you are solidified and ready to go. I haven't quite solidified it, but I can tell you what I want to accomplish. I've just got to figure out how I want to measure it, because all of our goals, and I've done episodes on it, goals, these resolutions, they need to be measurable, right? So I need to know how to measure it, and I've got to figure out how I want to structure this whole entire thing. But I do have my resolution, or in a sense, I know what I want to accomplish. This year, I want to limit, and this is it, and it's mind-blowing, I'm telling you, drum roll, because this is mind-blowing. Good stuff here, but I want to limit the amount of quote-unquote stuff that I buy. Stuff for me this year is going to be things that I really don't need, right? Stuff is going to be when I think about how much it costs and I convert that to the time that it takes for me to acquire that much money to pay for that cost, and I look at it and I say, wow, that item is not worth that much of my time, or that I don't want that if it's going to take me that much time to earn that money to get it. Stuff is going to it's going to be items that I can't figure out another way to get this XYZ task done without something, right? Without buying something. And I'm going to get more into that, but you can see there's a lot of stuff out there. And there's a lot of things that I spend money on, or there's a lot of stuff that I spend money on. And I'm going to stop saying stuff, because I feel like I've said stuff 100 times, but let's be real. This same resolution may apply to you. I just don't want to buy things that I'm not going to use, things that are going to go in a drawer, things that are not going to have any lasting impact on my life. I want to move on from that, and I want this year to be about putting my money towards things that I can use moving forward in my life. And I'm sure you can say the same about you. This resolution, like I said, can go to almost anybody. Anybody could have this same type of resolution. A few weeks ago, I did an episode that asked people to wrap up 2021 by looking at a few categories of what they spent the most money in this past year, right? 2021. And after doing that, you may have realized the same way I realized that, there's these shopping stuff, miscellaneous expense, whatever you categorize it as. You probably spent a lot of money in that category too, just like I did. That was my realization. And I said, you know what? This year, 2022, the year of the tiger, I think, I am going to be ferocious and deliberate about not buying stuff. Okay. In honor of this resolution, I thought I could put a dollar sign on this because I found a stat and I couldn't help but share it with you. Americans spend $1.2 trillion a year on stuff. Okay. They don't call it stuff. They call it non-essential goods. But if it's not essential, it's stuff. But that number is staggering, right? Like, it absolutely is. So why do we spend so much on things we don't actually need? And that's a hard question to answer. But I'm sure you fall into the category just like I do. And I want to get to the bottom of it. And this year I want it to be different. So before I get to this amazing New Year's challenge that will start your 2022 finances off right, because that's the name of the episode, right? I want to first address this simple thing. Why do we buy stuff? Because honestly, This is crucial to understanding that inner voice that's going to talk to you, and it's going to come up, and you're going to have to combat it. You're going to have to fight it, because it's going to tell you, hey, you really need this. Hey, you really should buy this. Like your life is going to be great if you'll just get this. And that inner voice can truly make you make a rational or irrational decision that makes you spend money and you really didn't need to. So I want to first address that. Why do we buy stuff? So it's a crazy question. Most people don't think about it, but why do we buy stuff? But take a moment, think about this. Put yourself in this thinking bubble, and let's walk through this. What leads you to want to buy something? Right? Everyone's different, but psychologists tell us that we buy things for one of two reasons, right? One of two reasons. The first one is we buy things that we think are going to move us away from pain. Like this stuff is going to move me away from pain. So think about it. If you're watching a drug commercial, there's a good chance that drug is meant to take an ailment that you have and move you away from all those symptoms that come with it, right? It's not saying that it's going to cure those symptoms or those that ailment or whatever, but it's going to possibly do away with the symptoms, and it could actually help with the ailment, right? But that takes you away from the pain. That moves you away from that. Think about it. Another example. You're wanting to lose weight, right? Losing weight's not comfortable. It's not. And sometimes it's painful. And then when you're doing all this uncomfortable stuff and you're going through all this pain and you still are not losing weight, that commercial pops on the TV, doesn't it? It pops on TV and it says, this piece of equipment, I'm not going to fill in the blank with any, but this piece of exercise equipment is going to help you lose weight, right? You're sold. That takes away the pain. The pain that you were going through to lose weight is now going to be alleviated with this piece of equipment or this supplement or this whatever this stuff is. It's going to do away with that pain. So, this is that example. One more example I got. Kitchen appliances are the hugest. I was about to say hugest. Hugest isn't even a thing. It's the biggest market out there of items that are stuff or non-essential goods. Is actually one of the top categories that we spend money on, that we don't actually need the stuff and we do it anyways. Huge market for this stuff, right? I'm going to say stuff. If anybody's listening to this and they want to count how many times I say stuff and leave it in the comment box, I am totally interested in finding that. I feel like I've said stuff a million already, but anyways, a kitchen appliance. I found this one. It's called a corn stripper. I want to, for those that are watching this live, I want you to see a corn stripper. This is a corn stripper. A corn peeler is what it's also called. Very interesting, right? Very interesting. But this corn peeler is $8 or corn stripper is $8 and literally just knocks all the kernels off the corn on the cob, right? For those that are listening on a podcast, it's literally just this thing that you run down a corn on the cob and it rips all the kernels off. $8 for this thing, right? And you probably have a knife. You probably have a knife that cuts this stuff off. And somebody's going to go out and spend $8 for this thing that takes the kernels off the corn on the cob. This is stuff. Like, this is that stuff. But ultimately, it is the reason that we buy stuff. It's one of those reasons. It's a pain or a discomfort that we have to go through. And when you are going through that, it feels like, man, this is going to be life changing. I'm not going to ever feel this uncomfortable again because I'm going to buy this thing and all of a sudden my life's going to change, right? That pain's not going to be there. Not my life's going to change, but this pain or this discomfort that I'm going through, I don't have to experience that anymore. So that's the important part. So that's the first reason, is to move us away from pain. The second reason we buy things that psychologists say is we buy things because they move us closer to pleasure. They bring us closer to pleasure. So let's be honest. So I'm gonna think about the companies that are out there. I mean, you got your Apples, you got your Teslas, you got your what's that? The Peloton is the exercise company. You've got all of these things. You've got food companies. You've got all of these companies that are out there. and they want your money, right? They put a lot of money into marketing. And what they want to do is they want to bring you closer to pleasure. So some ads out there are going to try to show you, if you'll get this thing, it's going to move you away from discomfort and pain. Others are going to bring you to pleasure, or closer to pleasure. So when it comes to this can feel the same as the pain, right? The difference is you are not actually experiencing pain. You instead, the marketing department is going to focus on a product that when you get it, it's going to improve you. So that's the key difference. The key difference is one's going to help with discomfort and pain. One's going to move you closer to a better you, right? And that's how they're going to market it. That's the two reasons we buy things. So the second reason is going to bring self-improvement. It's going to bring wholeness to your life. It's going to benefit you in some way, but it's going to bring you closer to pleasure. So some examples would be that new iPhone comes out, right? And it has this totally wicked good camera. I mean, this booger's cherry, okay? I mean, this thing is nice. And all of a sudden, you're like, man, if I get that camera, my pictures that I'm taking for the IG and the Snapchat, these things are going to be amazing, right? I mean, everything's going to change. You see, I just marketed that new iPhone to you with the camera. The camera is what sold you. It's going to bring you pleasure. It's going to make your life better. It's going to improve you. Another one would be something like, this is going to hit all my video game fans out there. Watch me. Video game fans out there, you see this new graphics card, or this new computer, or this new monitor, or this new mouse, or any kind of attachment, this new controller, this new console, whatever it is, it releases, right? It comes out, and you're like, holy smokes, if I get that, I'm going to be the best video game player in my clique. I'm going to be the best video game player. I'm going to start streaming. I'm going to be famous. I mean, whoa, improvement. You want to talk about life improvement? That's going to bring you some true pleasure. And that's what that sort of is, that second reason we buy things, is to get to that. So you can see we buy things for those two reasons. And so you know this, right? Like, you know this. And when you're in that moment and you're thinking about, do I need this or should I buy this? This is a good place to start thinking about it. Which one of these is actually trying to convince me, right? Am I uncomfortable? Is this discomfort and pain? Is this something that I'm starting to try to tell myself I need because I'm just uncomfortable? And I could possibly just think of another way to do this that wouldn't be so uncomfortable? Or is it that second reason that it's going to bring me closer to pleasure? And now I just need to show myself why what I have is better, or why what I have is great, or maybe how what they are trying to sell me is not as good as I think it's going to be, or it's not going to improve me as well as I thought it was going to improve me. But this is all this matters. And this is where the challenge comes in. This is where this New Year's challenge is going to start your 2022 finances off right comes from. And I'm telling you, this is going to blow your mind with how easy yet effective that it is. So it's not only easy, but it's effective, and it's going to improve your finances. Here we go. So drum roll, please. Here it is. The New Year challenge that I want to challenge you to accomplish this year at some point or multiple times. I want you to go through a no spend challenge. That's right. I've given you all the reasons we like to buy things, specifically the things that you don't actually need, that's influenced by media, social pressure, boredom, pay increases, and my all-time favorite, because it's discounted, right? It's on sale. All of those things, are going to influence you to try to buy something, but this no spend challenge is going to be your saving grace. So it's exactly what it is. Exactly what I'm saying is exactly, to a T what it is defined. But you're not going to spend anything, right? Like, that is the case. You're not going to spend anything. And before you run away, it's really not as bad as you think. And I'm going to get into what all it entails, But I first want to address time frames because I think that's what is going to help eliminate people from turning this episode off and being like, that dude is nuts. How am I going to go through life and not spend anything? Well, first and foremost, time frames. Time frame is totally up to you. You could do a weekend no spend challenge where you might just do like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You may do a week no spend challenge where you start on Monday and go all the way to Sunday. Or any other days of the week in whatever order. You might do a month no spend challenge. And if you're really out there, you may do like a 6-month no spend challenge. And I don't know of anybody doing a 1-year no spend challenge, but hey, if you do, comment it. That is motivating. And I would love to get you on a podcast or an episode here and just interview you how you are mentally just handling that, because that's phenomenal. But you determine the time frame. Ultimately, the longer you do it, the more you're going to save, right? If you don't want to do a 1-year time frame like somebody out there, you could do a 1 month on, 1 month off. You could do once a quarter no spend challenge for a month. I mean, you can do anything. However you structure it, you can do it. So the rules are not very in depth, and I want to go over them because they do define the whole entire no spend challenge. So they're not that hard. But first and foremost, before we get to all the little rules of the no spend challenge, I want to first say this. You've got to identify why you're doing it. That's important because you need to go ahead and identify where that money that you're saving is going to go. This could be to pay off debt. This could be to build an emergency fund. This could be to max out those retirement account contributions for the year. This could be to save for an expensive purchase that you have coming up. This could be to put money back from an expensive purchase that you just had. There's a ton of reasons out there. You've got to identify yours, and no matter the reason, knowing where that money's going is only going to be motivating to you when things get tough, right? Keeping that in mind of why you're doing it is only going to help when things get tough. So the first real rule, but the second in terms of the no spend challenge rules I threw together, is what's allowed to be spent during the challenge, because obviously you got to live. We're not telling you to move to the streets. But what's allowed, obviously, mortgage or rent is allowed. Your utilities are allowed. Insurance, that's health insurance, that's car insurance, any other types of insurance that you have that you need, you're paying for those. Your internet and cell phone bills are okay during the no spend challenge. Groceries, specifically groceries, we shouldn't be eating out during a no spend challenge. We should be getting the groceries we need to survive and go in that route. Gas should continue to be paid for, obviously, to get you to and from work. And if you are in debt, please continue to pay the minimum on all your accounts. We don't need any kind of delinquency going on in your accounts. I do want to say this: creditors are tough, but they're also reasonable. So I want to throw this out here at this point. If you're doing this no spend challenge to say pay off a debt, and you literally are like going to pay it in full, there's a good chance that if you'll call that creditor up and say, hey, on this day, right, I'm going to pay off my whole account, but I can't pay the minimum this month. If you can get that approved with them, great. They have processes in place. So call them, see what they can do. If they can help you out with that, excellent. Knock that out. Maybe you can put that money to the side and pay it all off at once. However you can work it out, but continue to pay the minimum on all your debt accounts just to keep them current. So that's the first thing, what you can spend. The third thing, so anything outside of that is pretty basic. If I didn't say it, it's you don't spend. That's not a applicable category to spend in. So the third rule is identify key areas that you are prone to give into. Okay, everyone has those hot spots that they're a little weaker at caving in to buy. If there's certain things that you always cave in to buy, identify those. Let yourself be known early that this is something I may face during this no spend challenge. And when those do hit you and they do become a problem, because they will, it'll give you, a little mental preparedness to say, you know what, I know how to accomplish this. I know how to take this mind on. I know how to tell myself I don't need it. And it'll make me better in the end. When those thoughts do sneak in, remember why you're doing it. That's a huge driver to tell you not to buy it. So lastly, and this is huge, get everyone involved. And I'm saying that I want to start with the family. Get your whole family involved. When you're doing it by yourself, you don't have to worry about others that, are affected by this decision to do a no spend challenge. If you're married, so if you're single, you can just do this, right? Like, don't spend in the not authorized categories and you're golden. If you're married and you have kids, it's important to get them all involved in this fun that you're about to endure, because it can be fun. If you'll get them bought into the why for why you're doing it, and you can make them and sell them on why you're doing it and how it's going to improve their life, it will be fun, and you'll all have fun together, right? And it can make it fun when everyone's involved and everyone's playing along, and ultimately seeing the benefit of how it's going to improve the family. You can also get your friends and coworkers involved during a no spend challenge. Get them to join in and do it with you. And that can always be fun added. It gives you something to talk about at work. You can share stories about how you didn't cave in to buying this, even though you always did before. In the end, it'll all be worth it, I promise. And you will have all that extra money to put towards whatever it was that you defined in your why. You can, pay off that debt. You could pay off that credit card. You could pay off the rest of that car that you have very little left to pay on. Like, whatever it is, that personal loan, whatever it is, you can knock that out. You could max out your IRA account. There's so much you can do with this money that you're going to have. So that's huge, right? The no spend challenge is huge. So this episode is great. I mean, it's truly great. I was so happy when I was writing it together, because it matched up perfectly with my resolution and how I want to approach this new year. I want to stop buying stuff I don't need. I want to stop buying it. I really do. Throughout this journey, I want to share. Maybe I'll do an episode. I'll keep a journal of all the times I had to mentally tell myself, this is stuff. Don't buy this. You said stuff 3.6 million times during that episode. Don't buy it. Whatever it is, I look forward to being able to share that. But I think one of the main things is you don't have to do this once. You could do it multiple times. You could start it out as a weekend thing. Then you could try a 1 week thing. Then you could try a whole month thing. But you just sort of figure out yourself. I'll do this all year on multiple occasions. For example, I did get engaged to my girlfriend over the weekend. So, and this is, not this weekend, but back in December on the weekend. And we have a wedding now that we have to save for, and that will cost money. So guess what? There's a no spend challenge. I can do a no spend challenge and put all that extra money towards a mutual fund that I could let build or invest, and see how I can grow that money to be a great wedding fund. I just finished traveling all around for the holiday. Went to Alabama, went to Big Island to visit all the family, and that kept me from putting away as much as I wanted into savings and investments. Therefore, that'll be a no spend challenge as well, because it'll allow me to put back some of that money that was spent over this holiday. But you can see, this is not a one size fits all. Anybody can, it's not like cookie cutter. Anybody can do this, and it can match whatever their why is. So in closing, I want to challenge you this year to be different. Let this be the year you spend the next 365 days bettering your financial situation. That is important. And it's also important to understand that this whole no spend challenge can be key in helping you achieve, make really quick progress on some of those goals. Nothing about finances happens overnight. No matter what anyone tells you, everything's going to take some time. So, the thing to remember is the things that you're doing today, you will reap the benefits of it later in life. Therefore, make decisions now so that your future self, 5 years from now, later on in your life, can be happy and thankful for the things that you did today. So it's great. To wrap this up, if you are ready to take control of your finances, or you just need someone to help you throw together that get out of debt plan, or help you, look at your budget, see where you can save some money for, a house down payment, or if you need help getting those student loans paid off, or if you need someone to help you in ensuring that your retirement is set up appropriately. All of these things, a financial coach can help you, and I can be the financial coach that you need. So go to thefinancialmirror.org/contact, fill out the contact form, just put in your name, fill out the message, sort of what you're looking for, introduce yourself, send it to me. It'll pop into my email, and I will quickly and efficiently get back with you. We'll set up your free consultation, get it scheduled. We'll be on our way to helping you with your financial needs. Finally, if you do want to give a little extra dose to the stream, go to my merch page and pick out some great gifts for your friends and your family and your coworkers. It's always good to see people supporting with the buying the coffee mugs and the t-shirts and the hats and the jackets and whatever else that you may need. Go check it out and pick up some awesome gear. I truly appreciate everyone tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this episode, no matter if you're watching it on YouTube or Facebook, or if you're listening to it on a podcast. You can always hit that like button, leave those 5-star reviews on the podcast, and those written comments on the videos and the podcast go a really long ways in helping the word get out and improving people's financial situations. So until next week, continue improving the one thing you can control, yourself. Peace.
Well, that wraps up today's Financial Mirror. Join us next week as we continue to work on ourselves, change our mentality, and to commit to achieving the success we always envisioned. Regardless of your platform, help us grow as a community. Please like, subscribe, and share with the people in your lives.